It's something that's been on my mind a few days, and I've been just muddling this over. And it's a beautiful fall day here in Alabama. And I thought I'd just sit out here on the porch and have a cup of coffee and just talk to you about what's been on my mind. And you let me know in the comments what you think about this, how you feel about it. But there's a video I seen the other day that talked about artificial intelligence, and it really has been on my mind a little bit. It's kind of unnerving, I guess, to a degree. I made a video here a while back about I'm 55 years old and I used ChatGPT for the first time. And I use ChatGPT for different things. I don't write very well. I can't spell very well. I've never been able to put commas and periods and use the right wheres. Is it WHERE or WERE or two TO or TOO? I never have been good at that kind of stuff. So yeah, I use ChatGPT. It's really helped me out in writing descriptions for both of my YouTube channels and coming up with titles and thumbnail ideas. But it's a tool. It's a tool to be used, and it can be used or abused. But that ain't really what bothers me the most. Well, I guess the abuse part does. And I'm going to talk about that ChatGPT, but I also want to talk about being authentic and real and sharing your story. Why I think that's important. And I don't have a script. I'm just sitting here just talking to you. But there's something that disturbed me when I seen the other day that they have created a movie actor or an actor with ChatGPT. It's not a real person, and it's my eye and my ear can't see that that it's not. And there's video out there on it. I don't even remember the name of this character, but it was created this year, and actors are upset about it because they have took and trained this artificial intelligent actor from thousands of people on how to act and how to be, and that's like a human, and I don't know exactly how all that works, but what disturbed me about it is about this, and this is where I want to kind of get into sharing our story and being authentic. I think it's important that we share the truth with people. We share our stories with people and be authentic about what we do. Because if we don't share our authentic stories and share what we know with other people and get it out there, and I'm not talking about just putting it on YouTube. I think we need to back this stuff up on paper. We need to back this stuff up somewhere where it can be shared and not some maybe artificial intelligence taking what we put out here on the internet and using it and making it something that we didn't say. You know, changing one little letter here and there, or one, I want to say, word here and there, can change a lot about a story. It can change a lot about the truth. Just give you an example. I mean, in the Garden of Eden, God told Adam and Eve, said, don't, well, he told Adam, he said, don't eat of any, you can have any tree of this garden, but you can't have this one tree because it's the knowledge of good and evil. And then, when Satan came along and he tempted Eve, he said, why can't you partake of this tree? You know why God don't want you to partake of this tree? Because you be as he is. You will be just as smart and know what he knows. So just twisted, it looked good for food. It looked good to eat, but it brought sin upon the world. So the same thing can happen, but just using artificial intelligence in the wrong way or it coming across in the wrong way. It's a tool. It's a tool to use. And I've always liked sitting around talking to older people, hearing their stories of how to do things and the things they've been through and the knowledge and the wisdom that they've learned. and kind of think about that and apply it to my life. And when I've come across situations, different things, I had their wisdom to rely on, to fall back on, to what they had said and what they had lived through and what they had been through from their experiences. And you can get, some how to do things off the internet. But these artificial intelligent computers and all this stuff is it's not a human making those decisions. It is the knowledge that it has learned and it has picked up. And it doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a heart, it doesn't have breath, it doesn't have feelings. It goes on information. It does not go on wisdom and what it knows. And that's just very disturbing to me. And I think it's so important because there's been some things that has happened that has been lost over the years. And you just think about it. Younger people may not understand this as much as us older people do. If you've been around before the internet, and even our ancestors, our grandparents and stuff, the stories that they told us. But if you want to learn how to do certain things these days, as far as have a farm, have a garden, how to make butter, how to make soap, how to do all those things, you've got to go buy a book or download a PDF off the internet or find a YouTube video where somebody has, doing that. And I'm sure through artificial intelligence, you can still learn how to do those things. You will be able to learn how to do those things. But the thing about it is a lost art. Used to you learn to do those things. You went beside your grandparents and you walked in the kitchen or you walked out in the backyard and you learned how to do these things with your hands. You watched them do it. You listened to them, and they would tell you, "No, don't don't go through that step right there. This is how you do it." And it taught you something. It taught you some patience. It taught you some work ethic. It taught you a whole lot of things. And I may have got off what I was talking about. Well, no, I kind of didn't, but I want to kind of get back. The life before the internet and stuff. See, young people today don't know what that life was like. I do. At 55 years old, I've watched these things happen. I looked up the other day because out of my curiosity, I thought, when was the first time the internet was a thing? That one computer sent uh, information to another computer. Computers used to be in rooms as big as a house, a small house these days. Humongous rooms that it took for these reel to reel computers to work. But it was like in the 1950s. So you're looking at, 70 something years ago, 65, 70 years ago, that these things began to happen. And in the 1990s, there was an explosion in the internet for the consumer to have. And it's been a wonderful tool. I mean, here I am creating a video on YouTube. You gain information from things on YouTube and Google search and Chat GPT. It's not a bad thing. But the thing about it is that we need human beings to interact with. We need human beings to talk to. We need human beings with feelings and emotions to be interacting with. Because young people today are searching and they're looking. And they walk around and internet's been in their life. Cell phones has been in their life from the day they were born. You may how many times you're out in public and you see a child that's misbehaving or parents is wanting some time just to have a break to be away from life for a little while, and their kids are interrupting that, and they hand them a cell phone. Sitting in a restaurant, they want to have a peaceful meal, they hand them a cell phone. Or how many times you go in a restaurant and the whole family's sitting with their nose in the cell phone? They're not interacting with one another. You think, well, how many kids today is going to be, or young people today is going to want authenticity and stuff? I'm gonna tell you something about the human. Uh, what am I trying to say? the human emotion. We need interaction for one another, and there is a fulfillment in that that you can't get from your phone. You can't get from a computer. You can't find that true fulfillment. And I think, there will be some out there that's searching, and they'll find people like me and you that will share our story and that will be real and authentic with them, that will share our wisdom and our life with them, and it will make a difference. If it just helps one person, it's worth it. Because if it helps one person, I believe that they'll have a desire to help another person. I know I may have rambled a little bit on this today and didn't go in no real specific direction, but I just think it's really important that we be authentic, be real, be who we are, and share our stories and be engaged with people. That's my rant. By the way, my name's Jeff, and I think I've already said welcome to the channel, and I appreciate you being here. And until next time, have a great day.